Despite their reputation, sometimes Netflix does require just the right projects. Hey everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film, and today we are going to be looking at Netflix movies from 2023, and I'm going to give you my top 10 of the past year, and I'd love to see you guys joining the discussion down in comments below. Comment your top 10 movies from Netflix in 2023, and going right into it, we're going in top number 10, Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire. Now, this was one that was very split and controversial on many different opinions. I personally really enjoyed it as a personal sci-fi fan. While it does have a lot of Star Wars and common sci-fi tropes, Zack Snyder's vision was really well executed as this part one of the story that sets up this world, makes it expansive in some sort of way, and creates all these different characters that starts to build up, reintroduce, and take its time setting some boundaries and setting rebellion that's going to go against this dark side force. And I just really enjoyed the atmosphere, the cinematography, and just the general setup that I do enjoy a good thing once it takes its time building and establishing characters, even if it doesn't necessarily have a complete plot right off the bat. And coming on number 9, we have Society of the Snow, one that recently come out that I really did enjoy. This Spanish drama and disaster film for just based on a true story. These Mexicans that go and crash into the ice on the way to a soccer game, and what all ensues is just going and figuring out how to survive. The tension, the build-up, some of the moments don't highly elevate me as much as I hoped it for, because some of it's dragged out in a way that makes sense because it's a long amount of time, but of course, some of that gets a little repetitive, but there's something I still appreciate for the cinematography and what it's really executing, what it's really retelling the story as. And so I gotta give it big props for that, what it's going for, and I do really enjoy what it's after. And coming in number 8, we have Beautiful Life. Now, I do really enjoy this Polish film that is really well executed, what it's going after, this musical soundtrack that really builds up the drama that's built up with this man, and how he's going after different things and chasing some of his dreams that become a little bit more complicated than it sets out to be. And so just the realistic approach to something around this area and learning the culture of this is really inspiring, and just the soundtrack as well, it really does elevate this film a bit more. And coming in number 7, we have Maestro. Now, this is so great. Another great film from Bradley Cooper. Not so great as The Star Is Born, but just the way it goes about all of this demonstration, a musical of passion, and his exaggerations for copying the real Maestro is something that's really grand, and something that was really great to see on screen, and just demonstrating a love and a drama, having these different problems in the family, but still juggling it all and managing to craft a story that does have its lulling moments, but ultimately pays off at the end of the day. And coming in number 6, we have Nick Holiday. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's really, but either way, it's sort of this plane heist, and it's very general and generic in some ways, but it stands out once it gets to certain twists, certain big elevated moments that really makes you feel claustrophobic, going from an open area and going down into the plane, having this different heights, things go wrong, and how they all go about it really elevates the script, really elevates what it's going after, and becomes that much better of a Hindi film for how they're executing certain ideas. And moments that really stood out for me in the end. And coming in number 5, we have Killer Book Club. Now, this is a Spanish film that I just really enjoyed from Netflix. One that is copying a lot of tropes from the Scream franchise, and of course, films that have copied that franchise, that I just really enjoyed. Still is in a big surprise the way, maybe it's a bias, I really do enjoy books as an author, but in general, just the way they're telling this story as it goes along, the self-aware tropes that you're writing, the killer is writing the story that the film is going off of, is just something that became a big surprise. The cinematography, what it's going, the story and the characters as well, the suspicions that you have to make up, and the mystery of who the killer is, and getting to have that fun adventure of the action that's going all throughout. It's just something that really stood out for me last year, that really took it to somewhere I did not expect a Scream copycat to go up against. And coming in at number 4, we have Leave the World Behind. This was one really elevated, intense thriller, just being in this futuristic vibe where these possible aliens are invading Earth. You're getting all these things taking over, getting all these Tesla scenes where certain technology is out of use and going into isolated areas, and just having these different family dynamics and not knowing who to trust and facing different people in different circumstances really brings this story to a whole nother level that I did not expect it to be, and yet is becomes thrilling and tenseful just in the way that it brings this isolated area to a different type of note that's sci-fi and thrilling, and just something I really think it really delivered on all of the right notes. And going into the ending and the love for physical media just really brought it up to a whole nother notch that I did not expect it to go to. And coming in number 3, we have Johnny. Now, this is a Polish film that I just really enjoyed. The tension, the psychology that you can study behind this, of this troubled man that's going into all these different troubles, that's having all these different moments that he has to get help for, and still getting into trouble for what he's doing, and the moments make an impact on his life, but becomes emotional the way certain people are trying to help him, and just all wraps up in some different ways that I did not expect this film to go, and it just becomes powerful in just the emotional setting and just the dynamic that sets this story off on in such a different way. And coming in number 2, we have The Killer, one from David Fincher that was a big surprise. Did not expect a simple story to be executed so well about a hitman that's trying to execute this guy, and has one little slip up that brings him on a turmoil and adventure that makes him have to chase after the ones that sort of set him up on the mission, and so he can't fail in any sort of way, and so he goes on a killing spree in different ways that makes this film so thrilling, so engaging, and such a great character study as a whole. And that leaves at number 1, we have Unlocked, a Korean film that I highly enjoy. The tense-filled drama, the simple story about this girl that just drops her phone on a bus, no problem solved, and this boy picks it up, and it just so happens this boy is a hacker that's, I'm not going to spoil too much, but just what they all do with that, the hacking and just the dangers of what this situation is like, that can be a real life situation that's not typically common, of course, and not supposed to be something you fear every day, but the way they execute it, having certain screen captures or screen recordings, and the dynamics and cinematography that goes all throughout this, the character relationships, the chemistry, it all builds up to be such a grand film that really stands out. Despite some of its simplicity, it still has a complexity that really drives something deeper into the metaverse of the film and this mystery that is unraveling before your eyes as you have to figure out what is all going on and what the side plots are all coming into at the end of the film. So that's just all of my top 10 movies from Netflix in 2003, from my least favorite to my favorite, and I'd love to see your favorites of Netflix of the past year. What were your favorites and recommendations that I may have missed? So let's all just share our discussion of love for cinema down in the comments below. And before you leave, make sure to go like and subscribe and do yourself a favor and go watch a film.